Welcome to the course on engine graphics, unit number 1, outline of engine graphics. So in the last class we have just given introduction to the drawing and drawing standards, and we have just talked about the drawing sheets, okay, the nameplate that or the title block we prepared for that, okay. And now in this presentation we are going to talk about the different types of lines and lettering used on the drawings. So just as an example, first we will see this particular diagram. So in this diagram you will find out that so many different lines are used, but different lines are having different line thicknesses, and also the way of drawing the lines is different, okay. So here all these different lines are marked with certain letters, okay. So here you will find out first that line A1 is specified here. So A1 is nothing but the main outline. Here you can see that it is a complete dark line and it is having maximum thickness compared to any other lines on this particular drawing. Then there are different lines specified with B1, B2, B3 like this. So here you can see that B7, B5, B3, B2, okay. All these different lines are specified with B2, okay. And here also one more B4. So many lines are there. This is nothing but the B1. So I am going to see that what is this B1, B2, B3, B4, what is A1. Similarly this is G1, then G3, okay. Then also there are some D1 lines, here also D1, okay. Here there is G1 and here there is J1 line now, okay. Here it is K1. So many different lines are there. So let us discuss now what exactly these different lines are. So with this reference to this particular table now, you will find out that the A1 lines are nothing but the visible lines on the particular drawing. So it will be the thickest lines, means it is actually called as continuous thick line, which is generally having the thickness of around 0.5 mm. They measure the thickness on a drawing, so it will find it line thickness of around 0.5 mm. And the second category of the lines is nothing but the lines which are specified with the B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6 and B7. So B1 is what? Actually it is imaginary line of intersection. So whenever there is some intersection between the two components is there, and that is actually an imaginary line, so that is shown by using the B1. Also we are specifying the different dimensions on a drawing, so that dimension lines are nothing but the B2. Then we are taking the projections from the main object to show the dimensions, so that is called as projection lines, okay. That is B3. Then B4 is the leader lines. So we are going to specify some data about that particular object by using a leader line, so that is B4. Then hatching lines means you have to show the sectional component, so section or cut section is generally shown by using the hatching lines, that is called as B5. Then outline of the revolved sections in a place, that is specified by B6, and the short center lines is specified by the B7. So we have just talk about these two different lines over there. I am also going to show you these different lines in the drawing. So generally this line is called as a continuous thin line, okay, and this line can be straight or it can be curved also, and the line thickness of this line is around 0.25 mm. In general, the relationship between the thick and the thin line is that there should be a 2:1 ratio will be followed. Means if the thick line is having 2 mm thickness, so thin line should be 1 mm, or if it is 0.5, so it should be 2.5, 0.25, not 2.5, okay. So half of this, generally this is the relationship followed between the thick and the thin line, okay. Now we will see these all the B1 to B7 different lines, okay. So B1 is imaginary line of intersection, so here it is actually imaginary line of intersection is shown continuous thin line. Then dimension line, B2 is a dimension line, so in this case B2 is this one. So you have to specify this angle between this and this point, okay, or angular length you have to specify. So this is nothing but a dimension line. Also we will find here that from this end one extension, this line is taken here, that is called as projection line B3, okay. And from here this line is taken, projection line. So these lines are called as B3, okay, that is nothing but the projection lines. And here is the dimension line again. Here linear dimension is shown between this line and this line. Their dimension is shown on this particular line. So this is again B2, that is dimension line. Then a leader line B4, okay. So this particular is nothing but leader line. It is showing something about this particular surface. So as this particular surface is marked as A1, Okay, so it is shown by this B4, that is leader lines. Okay, then the hatching lines means this is nothing but the hatching line. A sectional view is shown here. So this B5 is nothing but the hatching line, and outline of a revolved section in place. So B6, so B6 is nothing but this one. So this is a revolved section. How this particular component is actually having its section, that is shown here. Okay, and the short center line B7. So this is called as short center line B7. Okay, now we will see once again those other lines, like C is a continuous thin line which can be drawn by freehand. So generally this line is used for limits of partial or interrupted views and sections if the limit is not a chain thin line. Then uh, there is a D line which is actually continuous thin line, okay, which is straight with zigzags. So this Z type of shape is there, so it is called a zigzag shape. So this is used for drawing some line, zigzag line. Then this is a dash line, so equal length of the dash and equal space between this gap is there, equal space. So this is called as dashed thick line. So this is generally used as a hidden outlines on the drawings, as specified as E1. So E1 you can see here, E1 hidden lines. Okay, this one and this one hidden line. Hidden line means which is not visible from the front side directly. So the components or the uh, parts of a particular object or the lines of a particular object which are clearly visible to our eyes, that are they called as visible lines, and the lines which are not visible, which are behind certain component, like here you can see one lever is here, this one, and behind that some part of that particular object is there. So this is which is not visible from the front side. So as it is a full line here, this line is full, this line is full, so this part is visible, and behind that whatever the component is which is not visible, it is drawn as a dash line. Okay, so next is the G line, that is called a chain thin line. So here you will find out that this long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash. So chain thin line. So this is generally used for showing the center lines of drawings, or the line of symmetry is shown like this, or the trajectories are shown like this. So G1, G2 and G3 are there. So you can see here center lines, here center line is there. So this is indicated by G2. Okay, then G3, this one is there, long dash, short dash, vector line or trajectories. Okay, so and line of symmetry is similar to G2. Now sometimes you are going to draw the line like this. So this is actually called like chain thin and thick and ends and changes of direction. So this line is ends are thick, this end you will find here, this end you will find thick is there, in between it is thin, chain thin, so it is long dash, short dash line is there, and it is also changing its direction. So this is actually used for showing the cutting planes over the drawing, because generally few components are having some integral internal elements into it which are not clear from the outside. So in that case you have to cut that object, and if you cut that object, so you are going to show that cutting plane for that particular case. So show the cutting plane. So this is what is the line which is being drawn as H. So you can see here in this diagram the section is shown over here. It means this section is shown only when you can show the cutting plane over it. Okay, so you can find here that in this way this long dash, short dash line can be shown to show the cut section of it. Next is the J, that is chain thick line. This is generally used for indication of lines on a surface to which a special requirement applies. Okay, and this K line, so it is long dash and two small dashes, again long dash, again two small dashes like this. So this is called a chain thin line and double dashed. Okay, so it is a K1 and K2 and K3 like this, it is specified on the drawing. So K1 is used for outlines of adjacent parts, K2 is used as alternative and extreme position of the movable parts, and K3 is used as centroidal lines. Okay, so the thickness of lines should be chosen according to the size and the type of drawing from the drawing range. So generally these are the different thickness of the lines specified by the standard, like 0.18, 0.25, 0.35, 0.5, 0.7, 1, 1.4 and 2 mm. So it is recommended that the space between the two parallel lines including hatching should never be less than 0.7 mm. So whenever you are drawing these hatching lines, so the distance between the two hatching lines like this should not be less than 0.7 mm, so it should be more than that. So zero point 0.8 or 1 mm, that much spacing can be used. If very close spacing, close lines, if you are drawing it, it's not considered as a standard hatching lines. Okay, so now we are going to see the uh, how we are going to specify the lettering over the drawing and why it is important to draw the lettering properly. Generally we are not allowing any free hand uh, writing of any words over the drawings. So we are asking to draw the any letters or any information on the drawing sheet in the form of proper lettering, in the form of proper sizing of the letters. So the technical drawing should be legible, uniform and suitable for microfilming and other photographic reproductions. So if we draw or if you write by freehand, definitely that cannot be converted into a good photographic reproductions, or good visibility or readability will not be there for it. So for equal understanding or for getting the uniformity, we are going to use the some standard sizes of making the letters over the drawings. So the reproductions require the distance between the two adjacent lines or the space between the letters to be at least equal to twice the line thickness. So this is the requirement. Means if you have to reproduce the that particular drawings and understand that particular lettering, so it needs a proper distance between the two adjacent lines, or there should be a proper space between the letters. Okay, and it is generally it should be twice the line thickness. The line thickness for lowercase and the capital letters shall be the same in order to facilitate lettering. So if you write the lowercase letters or if you write the capital letters, so that the thickness of the line which is used for drawing it, it should be same. So the base of the dimension is generally the height of the capital letter. So whatever the capital letter you are writing, suppose if I write H over here, so whatever may be the height of this particular capital letter, that is actually the base of this lettering dimensions. That is based on that actually dimensions is been decided. So this height I am specifying, suppose H, okay, of this letter, and D is nothing but the its thickness. So this thickness of this particular line, whatever it is, that is called as D. Okay, so generally there are two types of standards being followed. One is the 1 by 14 and another is 1 by 10. So it means if 1 is the thickness of that line, so 14 times will be the height of that particular drawing, that letter. Or if it is another way, is if it is 1 is a 1 mm, suppose if we consider the thickness of that particular line, so 10 mm will be the height of that particular letter, like that. So in general, you can see now there are some words are specified and some letters are specified here. So like here ISO written, ISO 81, okay, and here small letter E, J and capital A and M is written here, and also capital R at the bottom. So this is nothing but H, okay, and D, it is nothing but the thickness. So D is the line thickness, okay, then H is the height of that capital letter, okay, then A, you will find out here that S and O, the distance between the two letters, so this spacing between the characters is given as A, okay, then the B, so B is the minimum spacing of the baseline. So this is one baseline for writing some words and this is another baseline for writing few other words. So just below this first line, this is second line, so the distance between these two baselines, that is indicated by B. Then E is the distance between these two words, means suppose this is ISO is single word you are written, after that you are writing 81, so distance between the two words is here specified by letter E. So E is the minimum spacing between the words, and C is the height of lowercase letters. So here you can see that lowercase letter means, you know, here small e is written here. So this is the height of the lowercase letters indicated by the C. So it means you are having this so many number of lines, that is this is called as cap line, the top line over there, which are going to draw their cap line. Okay, this is the baseline. Okay, and this is what is a drop line, because for small letters, whenever we write something like a letter G is written here. Okay, so this some part of the G letter will come down up to the drop line. Okay, and generally this is the baseline over which that word will be constructed. So the height of the small letter will be between the waistline and the baseline. In that, the small letter A will be there, or small letters will be written there. Okay, and this G is between the baseline and the waistline, this circle, and this comes up to drop line. While for the capital letter, it will be from the cap line to the baseline, the size of this. Okay, so the proportions of this for h by 14 are given in this particular table. So here it is the h, c, a, b, c, a, b, and e. So all these different letters which I have shown here, I have just explained here on the drawing, their proportions are specified here. It means, for example, if h by h, this is the value of h. Okay, so let us talk about the d and h. Okay, so if d is 1, okay, so h will be 14, and in that proportions all other values are available here. So whatever will be the thickness of your line, so this is 0.1 thickness, 0.25, 0.35, 0.5, 0.7, 1, and 1.4. So if I am using 1 mm line thickness, so 14 mm will be the height of my letter, capital letter heights. Okay, so this is the way you can use this table. And in other way, in h by in the, it was 1 by 14, so this is 1 by 10. For that, it is prepared here. So here you can see that the thickness of line, if it is 1 mm, okay, so height of the capital letter will be 10 mm, so it is 1 by 10. That proportion is used here for drawing this lettering. Also, some few points are also being specified here, like for capital letters you can use the height to width ratio as 6:5. For lowercase letters you can use the 4:4. Okay, and generally main titles which are being drawn over the sheet are drawn from 8 to 10 mm, or you may go maximum to 12 mm, but it is recommended that we should use the titles in the main sheet of 8 mm, and subtitles from 3 to 6 mm generally we can use. And the dimensions or the figures, what are the notes that you write on the drawings, that can be from 3 to 4 mm. So generally it is always better to write all the dimensions with the 4 mm and main titles with the 8 mm. The distance between the letters, it should be uniform, and it is definitely twice the line thickness, that is to be maintained. And the spacing or distance between the words, it should be equal to the height of the letters. So that way we are going to follow. And the lettering except dimension figure should be underlined. So all the letters or all the lettering which you are drawing over there, it should be underlined over the drawings except the dimension figure. Okay, so after this we are going to discuss about the dimensioning in detail in the next presentation. So we'll just stop here. Thank you very much.